Houssaini. I'm the founder of, people always ask how to spell it. The easiest way is just to say Hope Advisory. I know it's confusing. We have a company where we help companies in terms of consulting and advisories, helping them strategically or operationally. I'm lucky to have one of my partners here in the crowd today, the CEO of Rich Audience, who accompanies me in Dubai. Very nice. So we talk about data-driven advertising in terms of a step to digital transformation. And what we often do is data-driven advertising is a term we use in the world of programmatic. And what we've done in the past years is we bubbled it. We put programmatic as a display tool, video tool, and we said that's the way we should do advertising. Now, so I'm basically praising this for since real-time bidding, programmatic existed, that everything that is data-driven and biddable and that you can buy from media perspective, automated, is programmatic. So social and search in my world is programmatic as well. But as you have seen probably in the news, and I'm from Europe, I'm coming from London, I work in Europe a lot, and the US, we are in trouble in terms of how we do marketing, how we approach marketing, how we plan marketing. So we lost in the advertising world, I think, a lot of trust to marketeers, how we apply things and how we use technology to be successful on the one hand, but how we deal with people as well. And the first question we should ask us is very simple. It's always starting very simply, is why do we do what we actually do? So when you ask a marketeer, or you ask an agency guy, or publisher, why are you in advertising? A specific person, most of the times you don't hear a clear answer, right? So we need to reinvent our passion for what we actually want to achieve. And to reinvent that, we need to accept that the world is constantly changing. And when I go to the Tube in the UK, in London, and I go to work, people don't talk to each other anymore. I don't know how it is here, but the couple of days I spent here in Dubai, everybody's staring on their phone. There's no real communication anymore. And how do we need to accept that the perception of media has changed, and with the younger generations especially, it's worse. So we need to think, what's the purpose of what we actually try to achieve? Now, why do we do that? And how can we make it valuable and impactful people to communicate, who communicate every day with different other channels, but from terms of a marketing perspective? And we need to accept the fact, and we talked about this probably the past 2 days a couple of times, we have different generations. I'm from the yellow part, Generation X. I'm the old guy. And there's generation on Y and Z. We need to accept that these kids or younger generations just behave completely different. Do we adapt this to advertising? No. And the cycles of generations are changing as well. Like from 30 years to 20 years to 10 years. The fact is that we will have micro generations. We don't adapt quickly, we will not be able to communicate to them in the future. So, based on the fact that they are different, they have different attention rates as well. Just give you a small example. I was speaking at Google last year around the same time, and I walked down the hotel, and this young dude was sitting next to me looking at his iPad, having earplugs in, and was working on his phone, and suddenly he started speaking Swedish to me, and I said, sorry, I don't speak Swedish. He's like, I'm on the phone. He was doing 3 times care again. Today they love it, somebody else writes an opinion, and tomorrow the brand is dead. Because the brand, most of the time, is not able to communicate to his consumer. Who of you guys has kids in the room of the people who are still here? 1, good. Everybody's young, very good, very good. I don't know if you know this movie, Ralph Breaks the Internet. It's a Disney movie, as you can see. It's very funny, and I found a few sessions which I built to a trailer, and have a look. It's funny, but it's really critical.
Wow, look at all this stuff.
Search bar. What can I help you find today? Umbrella, umbrage, umami.
No.
Noah's Ark, no doubt. Nordstrom Rack. Ergonomics, Urban Outfitters, cool.
I'm pretty sure he's just trying to guess what you're gonna say.
My autofill is a touch aggressive today.
Congratulations, you're a winner!
Really? These 10 child stars went to prison. Number 6 will amaze you.
That sounds interesting.
Ralph, come on!
Redirecting to eBay.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next item up, a black velvet painting of a sorrowful kitten.
It's like it's
Get rid of belly fat using this one weird trick.
Sassy housewives want to meet you.
They do.
Want to get rich playing video games?
So that's how we do advertising today. Exactly this way. We over-address people. And that's when my kids ask me, 2 and 4, well, not the 2-year-old, but the 4-year-old, that's what you do for work, Daddy? It's like magic world. You know, we need to rethink how we plan. And through technology as a center point and data as a center point, we can plan experiences. Do we actually do that? No, not so far. Because we have different business models in search, in social, and programmatic overall. So we need to find a way how transparently we can combine that to bring the biggest value for the brand as well for the consumer. Come on, click up. Let's talk about, what do we talk about now? Oh, content, yeah, the most important part. We talked about content the whole day and yesterday. Super relevant, right? Because in the media world, we buy placements, and the data-driven world, we buy placements with audience data, build lookalikes, etc., etc. Nobody really talks about content in that world and how relevant that is. We over-address, we had this a couple of times, you know, people are blind, people don't see ads anymore, my kids don't see banners, right? My sister is 10 years younger, she doesn't see banners. It's not relevant for her because it's most of the time the wrong communication. And we need to shift here as well, because what we do in the old world, we still do this. I can't believe that we still do this. We inform, we persuade, and we remind. That's how we advertise. Right? What we should do is a right approach, I think, is to demonstrate, involve, and empower people to engage with the brand, which is a constant process. To build an experience, right? An experience like this, maybe not, because I'm not going to let it grow to the end because people are getting sick at the end. You need to build an experience, right? An experience to keep people in touch with you. So this is an example of the marketing funnel, which is still taught in universities. I have nothing against that. You know, the only thing I criticize is that if you look at it from an activation perspective, we split the upper and the lower funnel still. We are prospecting, retargeting into different pillars and through our marketing strategy. In a programmatic world, in a data-driven world, you should be able to reflect that in an always-on campaign. Everything is complementary. Should be. Don't do it though. And the market funnel, how I see it, is for me, you know, the snake game. Every time you try to reach your audience or the person, jump somewhere else, different channel. That makes it a bit complicated. If you plan by channel and activate by channel, right? And now different devices. How do you execute that? Not an easy answer. The answer, though, is that we should maybe value more people that work with us and help and motivate them and, you know, invest into them to do a better job. Which brings me to my next point. Great ideas are coming from people, right? Through the technology wipe in the past 15 years, we lost our interest in how to develop people the right way. And we lost our interest in you know, having opinions by people who might have a smart idea because we blame technology, or we think technology is always the answer. If you don't know how to drive a Ferrari, it's nice to have one, but you need to know how to drive it, right? So value your employees. Oh, sorry. So to show you an example of what great people can achieve in the programmatic world, I'm helping a company in the Netherlands as well who are making creatives adaptable to the basically connecting the creative world with the media activation world. So they made dynamic content affordable. Very interesting. And we need to accept here the fact that, you know, finding your audiences, addressing the right audiences is not enough. The creative still plays a bigger role in a decision-making process of any consumer. Black? No. So the importance of data. Nice topic. In Europe we have the, oh hello. We have, you know, GDPR, the General Data Privacy Regulation. In the US we have a similar law coming out soon. But what have we done in the past years with data, right? We collect data, right? We put a pixel on every website and we collect. Then we analyze and segment and then we activate. Wrong approach, right? First we have to ask the question, what do you want to achieve before you collect anything or segment anything? Because when you have the data, you segment and you activate, you don't know if it works and you don't know if it's combined or aligned with your KPIs. And that we understand that we are a little bit more complex than machines is obvious, right? Machine works on binary numbers 0 and 1, while we have emotions. We cannot deal with this just with, oh, a machine or an AI will solve this. Because then, you know, we turn to them as well, which we shouldn't. Most of the time, in the data world, right, we want to paint a Mona Lisa, and we're probably capable of building a fragment of the Mona Lisa, right? But the challenge then is that the other pillars we work with, they build their own fragments of pictures, which then creates a picture that doesn't make any sense, and we target wrong, sometimes in the wrong color. So the challenge we need to overcome is to tear down the silos, to tear down the pillars. We need to be more experimental in data, in media activation, and creative. We need to, you know, be aware that if we don't connect these silos we have on the media and creative side, we will never be successful. Sorry, before we strategize and activate any campaign. Data science, big topic in the past years, you know, like when people would ask you what you want to do as a job role in the future, data science is probably one of them. Those are the most demanded jobs we have. But don't forget, a data scientist is only working on the task he gets, and every data scientist has a different perspective how to solve an issue or a challenge. So collecting data from data scientist 1 might be different towards data scientist 2. So it's very rational, very pragmatic. We need to have different viewpoints. Now, we talk about behavioral science. Asking us the questions, not where to find the audience or how to address them. Asking us the question, why would anybody click on that ad? Why? It's a very interesting question, because you ask that a media guy, you will get an answer, yeah, it's the right audience. Well, it's not enough. It needs to be appealing. Let's talk about new channels. And I'm rushing because I know you're hungry. No, still have enough time, but we get there. So, content. Now we talk about new channels, screen time. So this is how I watch TV with my parents. My dad and my mom had the remote control. I had no other choice between 3 channels. We had to watch what our parents watch. This is my life today. I'm basically weekly looking at the report, what my kids watch digitally, and then have to block. That's my job. So everything is changing. We have over 10 devices at home, which is crazy. So we spend over 10 hours a day in front of screens, which is just an enormous number. But will we have a screenless future? If you look at the numbers of what Google and Amazon had through the Christmas time on Black Friday, how many conversational devices they sold. I think in Germany they were sold out till the end of the year. So assistant products are very interesting. So search is going to change to voice search. So that could be an opportunity. And you know, there are even analysis and researches that will overtake the tablet in 2 years, or 3 years, I'm sorry. Augmented reality is not, it's something I do understand, and it's not something I really need to engage with. My kids love it. And the fact is that I don't I don't know what to do with it. The most important thing is that we need to accept the fact that we need to engage with it, because otherwise we do not understand our consumers of tomorrow. Or the way we shop, right? We still go shopping in shops, but with augmented reality, I don't need to go shopping anymore. I can have my face scanned for Mark Zuckerberg in this case and try different glasses in that application and then just order. In-game advertising. The average gamer spends 2.5 hours a day in gaming. So imagine how much advertising I can do towards a website where I just have 2 to 3 seconds per website. The only challenge at the moment is how do I track an action. Chatboxing, is still a question. There's 50% who says it's great, and there are 50% like, I want to talk to a machine, I want to talk to a human. That's very kind, sir. Thank you. Water. No champagne. And car media. We are probably right now the most digital advanced city of the world. Autonomous cars are a boom. Everybody talks about it, that in 10 years we will have so many autonomous cars. What are we going to do with it? What are we going to do with our time we spend in the car if you don't have to drive anymore? It's going to become a channel. Very easy. So, it's still fresh, but there should be some attention to it, how you could do that. That's definitely a business opportunity to grow now. And let's talk about marketing automation. When some of my former roles, I used to work for Google, DoubleClick, IPG Media Brands, and Havas. My last was the global vice president of programmatic. And the biggest challenge we have that we have an increasing number of platforms. So if you look at these slide, it's over 7,400 players, well, 7,040 players, I'm sorry. How do you deal with that? How do you know what's right for you and what's wrong for you? It's impossible. So, you need good people, and you need to find the right solution for yourself. You need to audit, you need to experiment. But, it's quite an impossible job. What we have done in the past 200 years, we started with a media channel, and then we invented new media channels, but we didn't eliminate any media channels. So we had newspapers, auto magazines, direct mail, with radio, television, a couple of years later, satellite, radio, internet, email, marketing, search, digital at home, and so on, to addressable TV. And with different platforms, postal services, telephone, fax machine, email, spreadsheet, cloud CRM, digital brand studies, measurement, social platforms, business intelligence, DSPs, SSPs, and so on, with different cost types and different KPIs. When somebody says, marketing is complicated, yeah, look at this. It's not very efficient. And what's going to be next when we talk about blockchain and advertising? We achieved something really horrible. We tripled media complexity in the past years. So it doesn't make this very healthy if we look at the trend lines. There are always two sides. There's a healthy side and there's an unhealthy side. So you always want to keep the balance, but through losing trust and marketing complexity, we are generating an unhealthy stage in advertising. Because everything becomes a price exercise. Prove me wrong. So we built a complex ecosystem on top of a very simple idea. Advertising, data-driven advertising is not necessarily complicated if you have the right people in the room, the right data. So programmatic is not automation, not at all. Not the way we apply today. You look at the digital teams, how they apply programmatic today or how they work. 71% of people work on separate platforms. A majority don't feel like they are bringing value to their clients because they have to swap between platforms. And the biggest challenge is that there's a disconnection. We only look at the media side when we forget that everything is relevant in the process. So in the media automation perspective, yes, you have all these pillars. There probably are some missing, but it just look good like this. And then the programmatic world, we just think about audiences, programmatic, AI, and machine learning. Because that's a KPI that generates revenue. Why would I connect all the other ones? They're not relevant, but we have to. And if we can't even do that, how's the future going to look? We talked about AI. There are huge investments in China about AI. The next 10 years, we need to use artificial intelligence or machine learning in my world to do better advertising, to take jobs we do today that are inefficient, to support us as human beings to make better decisions, not to take over. So if you think about marketing and IoT, what is probably possible already in Dubai, and there were a few experiments in Europe, connected things is a big thing. So let's look at this example. This is Jay. Jay is a big fan of me. And his phone tells him his coffee machine is broke. He tells him, take it easy, take a nap. Everything is covered. I already notified the engineers. And by the way, you're out of coffee. I ordered you coffee. Great. So Jay takes a nap. He goes to this fridge. His fridge tells him, hey, Jay, you're missing some ingredients for your cooking tonight. Don't worry, not to worry. I'm going to send the ingredients to your grocery list. So, which will be in the order of tonight. Jay drives to work, and his second wife, the digital assistant, tells him, your son's birthday is coming up, you should buy him a gift. So, oh, great. Maybe a water pistol. Oh, great. Just put it to the order. Yeah, not to worry. It's going to be in the next order that's going to come today. Where's your car? We're going to geolocate it. Bam, done. Very easy. It's going to go in that direction. Probably harder in Europe because of GDPR legislations and in some other countries, but everywhere else, probably possible. The future is very personalized. This is an idea I wanted to show you how the future could look and how, well, this is terrible or positive, I don't know. Have a look yourself. Have a look.
Nice. Great.
Vas tarde. Apúrate si quieres una buena calificación.
Voy lo más rápido que puedo.
¿Has pensado en correr? Es saludable y eficiente.
Seguro que no hay más trabajos disponibles. Estudié para ser profesora y estoy haciendo mercados.
Y además puedes quedarte con los puntos de fidelización. Eres una monje afortunada. Tienes que confiar en la aplicación. ¿Te sientes inspirada? Gracias. Chao.
Estoy presente ahora. Me amo. Estoy libre de mi ira. Estoy libre de mi tristeza.
All right. I have to finish in 4 minutes. So what I wanted to show you here is that in the future, through Google Lenses, everything will be personalized. Everything has a value. Everything I engage with might give me, social coins I can invest into other things. Scary future. So let's go quickly, in terms of how we need to achieve that. Digital transformation needs to be done. We're not there yet. We're far away from that. Most of the brands I talk to still are working as which technology they should use. They're not even close to their processes. We need to understand that customers' behavior is changing, that they are already further in terms of a digital mindset. Most companies are not. 78% of companies still believe that transformation is still not widespread enough in their companies and they need support. And 91% are really struggling because there's not so much power behind that. So we need people to change for critical thinking, creativity, emotional intelligence to get there. We are not there yet. The misconception of digital transformation is that people think there still is enough time. It's only IT. It's only online. People will lose jobs, which is absolutely bollocks. And that there will be instant results. No, it is not. It's constant optimization. It's experimenting, you will do mistakes, and so on. And there's no guidebook. There is no guidebook. If you ask somebody, no, You need to look at the company structure, the people, the legacy of the company, the management, the shareholders, how everything plays a role. And this is my last part. Culture, right? It's a huge part of digital transformation. People say, why? Well, just because it's digital transformation, people play a role. Because if people don't like working with you, and this is how the world has changed, because the old economy, my world, it's like you had a boss, he would tell you what to do, you had to believe what he tells you. Now when I tell employees what to do, they at the same time they check if it's right what I'm saying, and if I don't value that, they leave, right? It's not like me when I was a kid praying, I said, hopefully my boss is going to be nicer to me tomorrow. People are more flexible and are more bold to say, no, I don't work here, I don't need this. So we need to rethink, how do we create a culture of people being loyal? I don't know if you heard of Simon Sinek. He's a well-known author and a TEDx speaker. And he's working with the Navy SEALs. And he asked them, how do you recruit your people? He said, well, we recruit them based on performance and trust. So, of course, nobody wants this guy, low performer, and it's not trustworthy. Everybody wants this guy, right? The top guy, best performer, trustworthy. Very hard to get though. So how do I get this? So the Navy SEALs are willing to go a few steps down on performance because trust is so important as a KPI. I can trust you with my money, trust you with my family, with my kids. The challenge though is, if you look at the industry today, economically, we only have this KPI, performance. And which creates an anxious environment and atmosphere in every company because you only want people are there who want to perform, you want to get somewhere, and you have an elbow atmosphere that creates not a good culture and environment. So we need to rethink how we put more aspects in terms of valuing our employees. And besides just measuring performance based on the KPIs we have today, how we can improve that to have a healthy environment. So we need to change our mindset, we need to educate our people, we need to think of people. And we need to break our silos, because you never know. Maybe there's a nice guy behind it. We need to collaborate, to rethink how we collaborate. The most important thing is, in the last 50 seconds, advertising, I said it today, is about magic. If there's too much logic, the magic is lost. Don't forget that. Machines can't solve that. Thank you very much.
We might just have a couple of minutes for a couple of really quick questions if anyone has one on the floor at all. Does anyone want to ask anything before we break for lunch? Or you're just like, get me out of here. Oh no, there's a hand gone up. Can we get a microphone down here, please? There you go.
It's a quick question. Really loved the presentation, especially about the culture bit. Just wanted to know your thoughts on how would you like to measure trust as well when you're talking about performance and trust and those kind of things and building the culture.
This was just an example, right? That's what I'm saying. We need to reinvent how we measure performance of people. Navy SEALs do that. How do you measure trust? Well, you die or you stay alive, right? So that's if you trust somebody with your life, you go, from a military perspective, to save lives. You trust your partner to save you. That's not measurable. But just to give you an example, that we need to have different KPIs, because there are people who get things quick. There are people who don't get things quick. That doesn't mean they're stupid, right? But the economy structure is built on fast pace, fast pace. You don't have to be the smartest in the room to be successful, And that mindset change is not there yet, because we only, the structure, economic structure we have today is we report to the shareholders and we have to bring numbers. That's why we treat our employees like numbers. Whoever worked for a big corporation, and I have 20 years of experience of that. That's why it's easy to let people go. Oh, so we have to fire 20,000 people, no problem. but these are all individuals, right? Whatever I impact employees with a bad taste, they might reflect that one later on their career, which we always should have a positive impact with our people that help us to achieve